Hallo og velkommen til denne 12. læresetningen, offentlige læresetningen i norsk, den 14. desember 2016. Beklager at vår kjære lærer Torbjørn Morstad ikke her i dag, men jeg har blitt bedt om å være stand-in. Og det jeg som host og lærer i dag, og co-host i dag Eva Krarup.
You are people listening from every corner of this planet. No knowledge has been dispersed so beautifully, so balanced across the planet, on this planet ever, maybe in the universe. You have the full potential of achieving everything in the universe. There is no need and there is no reason for nano-technology. So, wherever you are, the way I taught you to make the coils double coil inside, you have continuous equal gravitational magnetic field, and if you put CO2 on it, and you put zinc on it, you have connected the emotion of the man to it on a stable condition, and you'll find out you become a very peaceful man. Here, instead of having galaxies and universes and creating connection magnetically, we have used the matter state gravitational magnetic field strength to dominate and dictate the shape of the plasma. The nano-technology, the nano-material which you have collectively developed in different ways by caustic, by electric currents, by whatever, fire or whatever, has that advantage that the matter, the nano and the plasma is all the same. So connection is very solid, it's very strong. The power of the plasma technology, the way we have thought, is beyond imagination of the man. Now we can create and control the plasma, which is the mother of the creation of the universe. You are given the seed of the essence of the creation. The foundation does not belong to no one and is not made of one anymore. You are developing it, you are structuring it, and from today we will be still the same. We'll still develop the technology in different names, in different colors, in different nationalities which they do not exist. It is beautiful when we see the Christian, the Muslims, the Jews, and every other belief are working together to build up systems. We have already become one faith. We already have become one nation, and we already become one planet. You got to remember one thing. Dates is irrelevant. Today is the last day of the Christian calendar. or tomorrow is the beginning of another. One day is connected to another. We don't stop. We are working round the clock. The Keshe Foundation team is working irrespective of time, position, religion, country. And now we achieve what we set out for.
Ja, velkommen skal dere være, holdt jeg på å si.
Takk.
Would you like to be one of the first humans in space using plasma technology?
Innkjøringsproblem her. Men det går. Sånn. Ja, vi tenkte vi skulle kjøre et par biter fra den siste public workshopen til Mr. Keshe i dag. Det blir litt grann om hva han har å si om hva som skjer i Ghana. Og så blir det litt grann om gansmaking. Og hvis det er noen spørsmål, så er det bare å enten rekke opp hånda eller å åpne mikrofonen og spørre i vei. Så får vi se om vi kan svare på det. Så da starter jeg like gjerne videoen med en gang.
SSI as a master degree 2-year course has been set up and agreed between the Keshe Foundation, Ghana, Keshe Foundation Worldwide, SSI of the technology. Total non-toxicity report on the cell and the destruction of the cancer cells. As we already have done this before, but as part of the clinical trial has to be done, that the process is complete within the structure of the university and within the laws and the limitations which is put by the technology and the world of the science. After Christmas, direct live result testing of the cancer patients and mouse will start in 3 countries. The paperwork has been drawn up for it, and it takes us about a week, 2 weeks for the final phase of it. So full human animal test trials will start in 3, 4 different countries around the world in respect to the cancer and then malaria. We have managed to complete, and we announce the following. 50 seats as a master degree 2-year course has been set up and agreed between the Keshe Foundation, Ghana, Keshe Foundation Worldwide, SSI, with the University of Ghana, Accra University. 20 seats has been confirmed and will be held for Ghanaian scientists who want to do further development in masters and PhDs. We have 30 seats available for Pan-Africans and the rest of the world who want to join in this research and development. The Keshe Foundation Ghana will support the 20 students for their education, which means we support for the payment of their fees to the university. The whole structure of the teaching today in the agriculture will be on a full accredited level university, so you get a PhD from university. Same time, we will link these PhDs and masters with other universities, so it'll be joint collaboration teaching. What this means is that you do not need to come to Ghana. Teachings will be on the live screen in 2 or 3 different universities. If you want to be hand-on development, you can join Ghana Accra University. You'll be in the fields with Ghana Atomic. And at the same time, the classroom teaching will be, you are as a student and you'll sit in the classroom, maybe somewhere where we announce it, maybe 2 or 3 continents, which is easy for you than coming to Africa. And you become part of what your accreditation and your degree will be issued from Accra University. This allows the total teaching and the spread of the knowledge worldwide and does not limit us to one place. Chinese do this very effectively in their high-level teaching and research and operation for years. We have learned from the Chinese teaching. As I said to you, I was shown this when I was in China some 8 years ago, how they do it effectively. And now we use the fingerprint from Chinese teaching, that students do not need to be in one lecture room. Across the nation, people sit in the classrooms with live presentations and testing. So we follow on the back of what we've done up to now, but there are 50 seats available, which 30 is for international students. If you want to join and get a master's degree in agriculture from Ghana Accra with collaboration with Ghana Atomic University. Ghana, what we call KF Ghana production products will be in the market by Monday, Tuesday of next week. These products are targeted for Ghana and for Ghanaian need. But you will see these on the Keshe Foundation website, the main website, not on Keshe Foundation Ghana. We have established, if you want to go on the website, most probably by today or tomorrow, depends on our webmasters, how they do it by Monday. You can go on kfghana.com, kfghana.org, keshefoundation.org, keshefoundationghana.com. They all bring you to one site. In the coming weeks, we'll change the structure of the website, you will see. But the products produced in Ghana, there are some new innovations in the structure and the materials and the products. They all are certificated before submitting or marketing. We market and we produce everything directly from Ghana Atomic Commission. The factories within the security boundaries of the government, and everything will be supplied through the what we call the structure of our Keshe Foundation Ghana factory. The factory is more, the workers have been there for some time now. They've been trained and the first products expected by most probably tomorrow or by Monday. These products will be delivered on 2 different levels. If you order it, it's your responsibility to make sure that your government or your what we call customs allow the entry. In Ghana and the neighboring countries, we have no problem as we have the Ghanaian certificate for distribution and standard. These are water decontamination,
The Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute is now taking applications for the man-originated zone habitation and nutrition.
Which fits into the Ghanaian structure for the energy. Is new plasma waters for health and other applications, which will be marketed in different sizes. Is for burn, is for pain and everything else. And this structure will add up in the coming weeks. We're marketing the soaps for different applications, and then it's targeted totally for African market because there is a huge need and demand for it. We welcome the new incoming government of Ghana, has been re-elected last night. We support Ghanaian nation in every effort that we do. On the other hand, we have to go into the steps of what we have achieved and what is getting achieved. And in the coming 2 weeks, we ready for a very important announcement from the Keshe Foundation worldwide. This will change a lot of things around the Keshe Foundation internationally, and we will announce it once we have completed our work. We've been asked by John that if he can do his presentation earlier on, because it's 2 or 3 o'clock in Arizona. So we give the ground to John. This, you have to understand, is a raw test material. Is absolutely what they have done, success, failure, observation. We all observe what they have achieved. And then it's for the rest of the Keshe Foundation and scientific world around the Keshe Foundation to start looking and developing. There is a lot more can be done on the back of what you see from the Research Innovation Center in Arizona. Arizona factory has already gone into production and they start delivering the first products this week. Now, as they do research, we support them. We congratulate Peru in coming into manufacturing. We'll try to support you in your work and in your manufacturing. We congratulate Kenya in the completion. Ghana has been the first, and now we received information that Philippine manufacturing has gone into operation as of this week for commercial production. We expect production from Austrian health units and the company in the coming time. We will announce a new research centers in next week or 2 weeks across the world, which is increasing rapidly. We need to respond. The manufacturers, they become research centers as they open up. And now we see the collaboration and internal structure in Arizona. John, are you there in the background?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, good evening.
Ja, det var vel de nyhetene han hadde om det. Så kan vi gå rett over til Ganser, hvis det kan være noe interessant for publikum i dag. Eller de elevene som måtte være her.
If you have a copy. And now we go just adding to the knowledge, because it's important we understand this process. If you remember, I showed the metal, a copper, let's say. What is happening here? We go back in. If you have a copper here.
Yes. You have to reselect the tool. Yes.
I know I have a little button on this thingy which causes most of my problem. I'm going to stop sharing and share again. I touched the button on the pen. Okay, we clear out. If we remember all our teaching, we did the copper wire. Then I explained into how by nano coating, by caustic, we created the nano spacing. And then we explained in our teaching how by putting it in the new, this was the condition of earth condition. This is atmospheric condition. Now we have created a sodium condition, which is all to do with NOH and NCl. So now in adding the what I call another environment of nanomaterial in condition of new environment, we created our GANs. On the metal side, what we achieve is we go the same way. We go in a way on a spacing in a different way in respect to atmosphere. We go from the solid into liquid, and if we allow it and heat it up and put more energy into it, we go into what we call gas state. But there is addition to the information to the knowledge, and let's look at it this way. If we allow this gas state, now that we have separated it into the liquid, into the gas, then what you actually see is repetition of what you had. You achieve your GANs nanolayers. The fourth state of matter coming from the matter itself. Here, because of atmospheric condition, the knowledge of the man has been blocked. With the introduction of the new environment, which is Na, we can carry on with the same. This is what we call it, GANs. Gases at a nano stage. And this is what you have. Gas here, creating the right condition, becomes GANs. Because now that it's more free, we can act on it. With a caustic, the way we use, we catch the gases here. Now you understand. With the gas nano coating, we try to change this environment to achieve this, to go there. What we capture at a high temperature conversion of the gases, trying to push them back on the plate because we blow it with the fire. The same is with the electric. We push the current through, trying to achieve interact with the outside. With the way I produce GANs, we work in this way, and that's why we call it the GANs. When we heat it up, that it goes so fast, but cannot go. It becomes to its nano gas state, and then we pick it up, and we become GANs. So the way you produce your GANs material is important, and you see different results. With electric current, you have a push from underneath. This nano structure in strength is not the same as this nano structure, even though it's nano, because you pushed it further. The way you do it with the steaming is the same. The way it works, and we see working up to now here, is the way we create condition with caustic. If you change the nano to magnesium or potassium or whatever, then you decide the strength of, is it at this level or at this level, which atomic structure from inside. This is crucial to understand, and I'm realizing more and more that a lot of people haven't understood this.
Ja, hvis det noen spørsmål, så må dere bare åpne mikrofonen og si ifra da. Så stopper vi og gjør så godt vi kan for å svare. Det ikke lett å være stand-in for Torbjørn, men vi skal prøve så godt vi kan.
And this is what we need to understand, why some of you do not see results, or not the result you want. Today's teaching is very, I go back on it. What John showed you is significant, but you looked at the wall. You saw the way the nanomaterial was connected. He energizes the nanomaterial, which pressurizes the gas inside the ball, which releases its field 20, 50, 100 meters aside. You have the system in your hand. All of you have this. I explained to you how you have it. You made the maglev system and I showed you the ball. You already have this technology. You put the ball inside your what I call 90-degree maglev units. Is there any difference between this and this? This is how you make powerful systems. Because now you dictate it, because now you pressurize, you put the field inside. So if you make your ball, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, I dropped out for a few seconds, I'm back in again.
You have to
Yeah.
repeat the last minute or so of what you were saying.
Oh, what did you hear? You had
Just a
We're
couple of
sharing
seconds.
desktop now.
The last we heard is there any difference between the ball on the motor or they're inside the 90-degree?
Yeah, I stopped because I saw the screen dropping off. So now you see you have, just 1 second, I have to stop this. What you have is, what you have to understand is how far you already had the knowledge, but don't make a connection. You can put the coils around the ball, or you can make the strength of the coil high enough that it can reach the coil. So everything is available. All the knowledge is there for you to achieve, to go to the next step. The reason you saw the expansion and the closing of the gates, what they call the doors, is the same. You close the loop, and then, because now you close the loop, the pressure goes on the center, and as you put pressure on it, it expands the field out. You trap the magnetical, you increase the gravitational, and when the gravitational reaches a point, it opens out. In a way, you have the plasma system, you pressurize it, in pressurizing, it breaks out itself. All of you who made the coils and you made maglev systems, reload the balls in your maglev system at home. In a very heavy direction, you will see the fields. You will walk in the house and you see the lights. We saw this with the test Ali did in Canada, and everybody lost the track of it. They could see lights in different part of the room. All of you who made the maglev systems are on the flight mode. It's just that you don't know how to ignite it. Everything is there. And how you can handle it, how you can trigger it. How we see this set, this 12 set to 18, 23 cores. If you choose the right approach, if you choose the right weight, the table will fly. There is nothing wrong with it, but you have to know how to load it. I explained to you, follow the way we set out, you will achieve it. It's not that it's the only way. This is the only way we see in the atmospheric condition of this planet can be done. Outside, you do different games. Carry on, please, Rick. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Keshe.
Yes, carry on. Don't forget, we have a time limit on our teachings. Huh?
Mr. Keshe, I have a question. Can I ask a question?
Can we carry on with this 1 second, please, Azar? The other people come in, please. Carry on with the pictures, please, Rick.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Let me get that back up. See, I have that temporarily down here. I just have to get back. Okay. Well, we did show all the pictures that were in that batch. There was 4 of them in that case. And I could show a different reactor that's also being worked on for a spaceship configuration, or we can go on to some other things. Let me try to get that picture back. I'm just having some difficulty here relocating it. Just a minute.
What is our time limit on the, what do you call it?
We're currently at about 3.5 hours.
2.5 hours or 3.5 hours?
We're at 3.5 right now.
Okay.
And,
No, he's referring to the time limit on Facebook.
Pardon?
What's the time limit on Facebook?
I
4
think
hours.
it's 4 hours.
okay, so I've got the video here, the picture rather. Let me get it on to share.
Ja, det noen som har noen spørsmål foreløpig, eller?
Ja, jeg tenkte sånn litt, det kan jo være, siden vi er bare vikarer, at dette er jo litt vanskelig siden vi ikke har hatt noen tid til å forberede oss, men om det var noen av dere der ute som har noen spørsmål om ganser, om oppsett av star formation eller et eller annet dere har lyst til å snakke om.
Det er en god idé. Da er vi åpne for det.
Og det behøver jo ikke akkurat å være noe han har snakket om akkurat på dette klippet. Det kan jo være noe dere går og lurer på med helt basic oppsett, eller ting som dere har støtt på, som dere ikke vet hva er og sånn.
Ja, nei, det ser ikke ut som det er noen spørsmål, så da kjører vi bare videre da.
Okay, so make it a bit larger as well. There we go. Okay, so we see the side view here, and then I was scrolling through, and we see the underneath view, and there's a further top view, which is interesting. Now, it goes on in the email. So many windows open here. Just bear with me. Okay. He had a series of questions, mostly which you've already answered, Mr. Keshe. So he was wondering about, do you have any suggestions on this particular setup, and what set of cores need separate speed controllers? Maybe there would be some general advice? You mentioned RPMs and so on, but would there be a particular set of reactors that would be under one speed, let's say?
It's what we've seen with this acrylic ball is mainly leakage. The leakage, it doesn't mean that the system is wrong. It means the field you created inside is too strong. So it pushes the boundary of the matter state. Do not give up just because you have a leakage. You carry on with the system. It means your plasma is built up. A lot of people, when they get the leakage, there's something wrong, or when they see the reactor stops, there is something wrong. No, just carry on the process. When you have a leakage in this level, try to see it the best you can. It's usually when the field builds up and the centrifuge field, it pushes back out. Carry on. What's the next question?
Well, I know that Paul from Togo would like to show his new health unit that he's got, and you mentioned the fields raising and lowering. Well, he's got a nifty sort of invention.
If you want to show his videos or his pictures, please.
I think Paul is on.
Just show the pictures and then Paul can add. Because when Paul comes on, we go for 2 or 3 hours. We don't get everything in one go.
Let me show the box. This is a work in progress, so it's not.
I've seen the pictures, yes. I've seen, he sent me the pictures. Do you want to share it?
Yeah, I'll get it here. Here we go. And I'll make it a little bigger so people can see it easier on the live stream.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is the basic box, I guess, of this new health unit. And let's see, there's a...
Let me explain to you, you're supposed to go inside this unit.
Right, yeah, I didn't figure that out on the first series of pictures.
But it's a size dependent. It's a weight size dependent on how you can get in it.
It's not a small box, as you'll see in the little video that he sent me here recently. Okay. So
can you show it, please?
Yes. Okay. Share. And let me share the sound. There we go. Okay, so you kind of get more of the idea of what this device is looking like here. Let me try to...
It's a movable MRI system. Instead of the patient moves, the system moves.
Yes, kind of. And it's actually quite intriguing in a way, and kind of innovative. So
we saw yesterday in the medical teaching a version, much simpler version of this with one of the doctors. And it's very, very interesting how this is developing. Much simpler way was shared by with the doctors yesterday, and it's tubing that actually is solid state. And then I said, how do you get the patients inside? Says the patient walks in the middle tube and then they bring it up, put them, position them, and it's very flexible, the sizes and the points. We might show that later on. Anything else? I presume he's going to put 6 dynamic cores around this to be able to change.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he's able to say anything about that, but yeah, this is a work in progress, and definitely it has to be.
When they finish, we let Paul show us what he's done, how he's doing with it.
Right. Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. Anything else?
Well, there's always more things. I'm just trying to see if there's anything important that a questioner might miss.
What I would like to add to knowledge in the short time we have, we can carry on, and if we can reload the Facebook, this is something which we have taught in the private teachings, and we usually bring private teachings and a handful of people or the number of doctors or the scientists understand to share. I would like to share the screen, please. This is for those of you who work. Can you allow me to share? Yeah, thank you very much. This is to add to the knowledge, and it's important. We shared it with the doctors yesterday, and I shared it with the others for past few years, but it is important to come to the full understanding. If you go back to book number 1 and book number 2, this has been explained. If you go into the patents, it's written in the patents, especially the medical application patent. If you go into the teaching of past few weeks, past few months and years, we spoke with about a CO2. I'm going to change the color that you can see easier. We spoke about a CO2. And the CO2, how CO2 affects the viruses. What we have seen is that in the clinical test, in every other things we do, we have the, let's say, Ebola or HIV as a virus. As we explained in other teaching, with these viruses, you have the amino acid and you have a backpack energy, which we call it the viruses. Depending on its strength, we have given them different names. But in fact, what is important is that this amino acid inside, which is your NOH, Mr. Cohen, is always the same. We saw how, because of the dynamic shape of the plasma in interaction with this material, we have managed to change its strength, and in a way we see the end, how it works and how it has interacted. We seen that's why the gases are very effective in respect to viruses. One of the points which has been a stumbling block, and we had to look into to explain, and it's been explained in many of the teaching, is that what do we do with problems, microbes, germs, parasites, which are amino acid based? Let me just, I have to stop this. The amino acid based entities do not have extra energy. The amino acid based entities have and partially can be affected by the CO2, but not all of it. When we cultured bacteria and microbes and things like this in the laboratory, we see partially, but not fully effective. Go back into the teaching. Here with CO2, the viruses have changed the strength. With amino acid based, we have to find a new solution. We cannot touch the carbon because it just changes the line of communication. We cannot change the oxygen because it's the holding. It can increase the strength of the field of the plasma or reduce the plasma of the amino acid. Hydrogen is a link for transferring or deciding on a full size dimension and transfer of energy in and out. Nitrogen is the decider of how much this plasma will dictate in its transfer of energy, in its concise. So we cannot touch the O and see at the moment. In a future teaching, I'll show you the effectiveness of how you can work with these. But what we see, we can change the nitrogen. Those of you who work around trying to sort out something for bacteria, for microbes, for parasites, you have to bring your attention into production of nitrogen. You can do two ways. You can use nitrites to create nitrogen oxide, or to create energy that you can interact with nitrogen, that you can handle microbes, parasites, and bacteria. Because these are earthly dependent, so you have to dictate the condition of the earth, which dictates their size and the position. When you produce the different amino acids with copper or zinc, you saw how different shape and color and orientation and thickness of the amino acid on top of the box, on top of the water. So this should have given you an indication. Something is dictating the size of the and the shape of the amino acid, and that is the nitrogen. The strength of the nitrogen which that environment creates and attracts. So if you are going into the next step of the health application or germs or bacteria, you have to consider the introduction of the nitrogen into the process. But when you introduce nitrogen in a scientific way, you have to understand what it affects, what it works, and how you're affecting it. The work of the nitrogen comes in not in a matter state, but in a gaseous state. But when the nitrogen is in a gaseous state, it's in a plasmatic vacuum condition of the body of the man. It works on the transfer of energy, which it gives to the hydrogen. And if you look at it, we always said the hydrogen is at the end. So the energy received by the release or interaction of the nitrogen dictates the position and the strength of the absorption and reduction of the fields at the end of the plasma, which is what we call Coulomb's barrier or plasmatic barrier. So what you need to take a step further is the change of nitrogen dictates the structure of the amino acid. So if you change the strength of this or affect the operation of this, you can handle anything which is amino acid based. So if you understand this, you can go in changing all the bacteria. People who had the problem with solving malaria should understand this. One of the best ways to handle, to create the material to handle nitrogen is get collaboration from another material which is connected to the behavior of nitrogen. One of these materials is silver nitride, because already has a position and condition, and nitrogen responds to silver nitride in its atomic decay structure. I have taught this yesterday in the medical application. We don't have much time. I try to condense it and we go on it next time. The reason for it and the operation of it, next teaching, I'll go into it in depth. But for the time being, till next week, I would like to explain to you how this works and how it's effective. Those of you who handle parasites, those of you who handle microbes and bacteria, you have to look into existence of nitrogen and the centralization of it. It's in the book 1.
Hello, Mr. Keshe. Hello?
We lost his connection, but he's still on the list of panelists.
Yeah, and it's still showing that. Whoops, the video. Well,
it was a dropped out there.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello.
Hello again.
I'm back again, yeah?
Yep. Okay, just
I
talk a little.
stopped when you fell out. When I fell out, I stopped. I could see it. So
Yep.
what we see is that we need to add to the knowledge that all of us understand the work of the bacteria and microbes and parasites. This is why some of you have a success with parasites, with malaria, and some of you don't. Some of them have problem with infection, some of you don't. It depends on what strength you use and you chose to interact with the nitrogen. On next week's teaching, we'll go in depth in this because that's a new opening in the world of science of medicine and the operation of the body. You need to know it for deeper space because without it, you will have a huge problem to sustain the body of the man in the space and in its own total integrity. So those of you who are working on that side, look into the nitrogen nitroxide, look at the silver nitrite, and then I show you the full structure, why and how silver has been one of the main, what we call, materials which has been used for centuries by people, because now you understand the scientific purpose, the what do you call it, the knowledge behind it, and how it operates and how it connects to the body of the man. Any other question, or we're getting to our closing time?
Ja, det noe spørsmål der ute? Ser vi ikke så mange I dag, men det kan jo være. Det noe han har sagt som dere ikke forstår hva han sier? Det noe dere lurer på ellers? Noen vanlige spørsmål? Så tar vi gjerne imot. Det ikke så mye å snakke om, for det kom litt brått på det her stand-in for faste lærer. Men vi tar gjerne imot spørsmål og starter en konversasjon hvis det ønskelig.
Kan være alle sammen har tatt litt tydelig juleferie her. Men jeg tenkte på, har du greie på det der med mesjonen, hva nitrogen gjør, og hydrogen gjør, og karbon gjør, og sånne ting?
Ja og nei. Jeg ikke så langt kommet med det, men jeg har en viss peiling på noe av det da. Hva det du lurer på da?
Ja, men det var det der med at hydrogen, den gjør en ting, og nitrogen gjør en ting, og karbon gjør en annen ting og sånn. Den har jeg ikke helt på plass ennå. Hva din forståelse av det?
Ja, vent litt, skal jeg bare hente boka mi, så ikke jeg sier feil her. For jeg har ikke pugget det, for å si det sånn. Ja, han snakket jo om det her I forrige public teaching. Og da sa han at oksygen var en ting. Og nitrogen jo den som styrer, det sier han jo nå da. forteller hva som skjer, og hydrogen den som gir energitransporten.
Var det noen av dere andre som oppfattet hva han egentlig sa om det? Mr. Keshe?
Nei, det var visst ikke det. Men det I hvert fall karbon som kommunikasjonen her. Oksygen den som holder ting på plass, da. Som dikterer litt avstand. Nitrogen den som kontrollerer eller bestemmer. Og hydrogen den som gir. Det det han sier. Så der har vi Mr. Cohen I et lite nøtteskall I hvert fall.
Ok, takk skal du ha. For jeg hadde ikke helt fått med meg de siste to der.
Nei, men der det. Der står det svart på hvitt. Men jeg tenker at hvis ikke det noen lurer på, om noen har noen spørsmål om noe, om det noe ønskelig som vi skal snakke om eller noe, så kan vi jo egentlig bare avslutte. Jeg har jo liksom ikke forberedt dette så veldig godt siden jeg fikk beskjed for en halvannen time siden. Så... Eller det noe ønske om å kjøre videoen helt til slutten?
Jeg tror ikke de har noe å spørre om.
Nei, jeg ser det.
Ja, det står ikke noe her I chatten, så...
Nei, ikke noe på spørsmålslista heller, så... Nei, men... Hvis ikke det noe mer, så får jeg bare love å komme tilbake bedre forberedt hvis det blir sånn at jeg skal stå inn for Torbjørn igjen. Jeg kan ikke si noe annet, håper jeg får litt bedre beskjed, litt bedre tid. Så vil jeg bare takke deg, Eva, for at du har vært villig til å være co-host I dag. Og så vil jeg bare si at dette har vært den 12. offentlige læresetningen på norsk fra Keshe Foundation. Den 14. desember. Tar jeg julaften på forskudd her nå. Så får jeg si takk til dere som har møtt opp, og håper dere kommer tilbake sterkere.
Selv takk.